And we are now live. Welcome, everyone. We have a very special podcast / live stream today. We're going to be talking about the top rookies in the NFL, the top rookies to draft in fantasy football, and focusing on rookie dynasty drafts. We're going to be doing a rookie mock draft as well live. We're grateful. We are blessed. We're all very thankful to have with us Andrew Ward of Dynasty Drafters. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? Thank you for that intro. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're going to shine some light on some rookies. We're going to be talking about the top rookies, and we're doing a mock draft. It filled. You see this? It filled up.
It did fill up, and it filled up quick.
It filled up quick. So no matter what happens, if we have some people making goof troll picks, which really never happens when we're live, but anything, it doesn't matter. We'll still talk about the top 10 rookies, top 20 rookies, and I want you to talk about any rookie that you're passionate about that you want to let the listeners or viewers know about. You go ahead. I'm really going to give it up to you, and we'll start this off. So you got the first pick. I got the second pick, and this should be linear, right? I want a linear. Let me double check that.
Yeah, it should be.
Linear, because one time, my first time doing a rookie, I did not know this. And it's not that I didn't know, it's just that I didn't put much thought into it. Like you're used to. Like habitually, you're used to, I've been doing snake drafts for 18 years. And then I hop on this and I'm like, oh, crap. And I'm recording too. And I think people love that on the YouTube video. People were like, oh, haha, Brain, he made a goof. But it was real. And I feel like, it was a good, because you know how it is. People are just really starting to get in Dynasty like the past 2 years. And so it was a good goof moment for me that people should learn from my mistakes.
Yeah, and I think Dynasty actually is going to grow a lot over this year, especially what's going on right now with the pandemic and whatnot. We need anything to keep our minds, off of the outside. And Dynasty is the way to do it.
So you've been, when I last talked to you and I was on your guys' podcast, you were really into best ball Dynasty drafts.
Yeah, so
there's only when we talked last, there's only one website that did that, I think. And are you still into it? And how many where can you play that and stuff?
Yeah, so actually Zach is the one that's into that more. He's the previous podcaster I did with. I don't play best ball too often. He plays all the time, and if I'm not, I think only MFL probably has that. I don't really know anyone else that has Best Ball Dynasty.
Oh. What about Flea Flicker? Was that the other site that has?
No, yeah. So I use Flea Flicker, but not for Best Ball. They don't have a Best Ball Dynasty that I know of.
Okay, so it's real. We'll talk about that. Let's see if we can get some going. And I have some connects. I think that's cool. And I'm saying that because of what you just brought up. We've been doing some best ball, and I've been working. There's not even that many sites that do best ball, by the way, because draft was coming up. FanDuel, they bought the draft app, and now they're on pause because of the merger. So they're not doing it. So there's very few and MFL, believe it or not, they sold their the rights to best ball 10s, MFL 10s, the term they coined. So now if you go to essentially MFL 10s, it's called bestball10s.com or something. And they sold it there. Yeah, but that's
pretty crazy.
That's all I know, though. I don't know more than that, so maybe you're right, and they do have Best Ball Dynasty or Best Balls, but I know that, because everyone's like, MFL 10s. That's changed. They don't have that on the site anymore because they had some issues, and now it's Best Ball 10. So right now, there's really all you can do is Dynasty and Best Ball, especially Best Ball. And we've been doing Best Ball drafts, and people are very hungry for them, and so that's why I asked. But after this podcast, let's connect and see if we can get something going that are Best Ball Dynasty, because I feel like that's a cool thing to explore during these quarantine times. It's just crazy.
Do you actually pay attention to your best balls? Because when I think about it, and most people, you use it almost like a shot in the dark type of thing, but it's more about using it for the draft because you're not doing much after it. So during the season, do you check on your best balls, or do
I
you I have hundreds of them, so just leave
no,
it
I
out there?
rarely check on them just because it takes time, and there's nothing I can do. It's kind of like checking a stock or something that like you're in a contract that you can't sell for 6 months. You know
Right.
what
Exactly.
So there's no point in really stressing over it. How I view it is a mock. It's a mock draft for money, and so just like a I'm not going to be looking at a mock draft and telling people like, oh, look how good it was. Like, it's cool to
You're right.
trash talk a mock draft a little bit. I mean, not really, but I can see you trash talking in a mock for 5 seconds, and then when you close out the window, it's done.
You're right,
So
and that's it.
yeah,
And I think the best ball is awesome for that. It's because, mock drafts are kind of hard to get everyone, involved and invested. They drop out so often, and then you have auto picks and everything else. Whereas the best ball is giving you that, that lane to where everyone's serious during the draft, at least.
yeah. And right now during these times, best ball is like it's so important.
Oh,
There's nothing.
sure.
There's no
Lit.
basketball, no baseball.
There's nothing, man.
Yeah, so
Like,
we did like 10
believe-
best ball. We're gonna start this though, and we can talk as we're going. Hopefully you can multitask a little bit because I can multitask. I really can't multitask, but hey, I give it a whirl. All right, let's start this thing. Begin draft. Okay.
All right, bro. So that's who I wanted to talk about is actually Jonathan Taylor. I think if you really sit down and look at what this kid actually accomplished, I think he's not getting enough credit. Like everyone that I see on Twitter and whatnot does have him as the number one overall running back, but it's not enough. Like they think that there's actually competition, like, oh, landing spot. No. If you look at his size, right? He's 5'10", 226 pounds. He has a height, weight, adjusted speed of 121.7, which is the 99th percentile. This guy is almost like a Saquon Barkley type. And I know that sounds insane, but he was overproductive.
Why do you call him
more
Saquon Barkley? Because Saquon Barkley is very quick and lateral. As far as this guy is not really that from what I've seen. But he's great speed, great size. Is that you just talking about that? Like strength, size,
I'm
like
saying,
physicality? Like I don't.
Yeah. So why I say he's like Saquon Barkley, right? So he's more like probably Zeke Elliott than Saquon, but I'm saying his height adjusted speed is, actually, because being 226 pounds, running a 4.39 40 is just, it's insane level speed. And then his BMI is also up in the 89th percentile. So I don't think he's getting all the justice that he deserves. He, as a freshman, had over 2,000 all-purpose yards.
And it shows up on film, what you're saying. Like he's definitely very fast on film. Saquon Barkley is dang. I thought for some reason I don't think Saquon Barkley is that tall because he's so like his big legs.
Yeah,
he's 6 foot.
Right?
Yeah, 6 foot,
Yeah.
233 pounds. So somewhat similar to Jonathan Taylor, who's 5'10", 226. Okay.
Yeah, so Saquon's BMI is 31.6 and Jonathan Taylor's is 32.4. And he's fast, and his burst is not slow either. I mean, he's in the 71st percentile for that. So, and you see the production, and I know a lot of people out there will say, well, he didn't catch passes in college. But his last season, he did have 26 receptions, which in college, 26 receptions, I believe is fine. And he went to a college, Wisconsin, that they're not known for throwing to the running back anyhow. And they're known for what? Their line. Why throw the ball if he's rushing for 2,000 yards?
Yeah, I learned that when I did a very, very, very deep dive. I did what I think is a very good video on DK Metcalf. It was perceived well and it did well. Is that a lot of these college teams are like, they're dumb or they don't use the player right or there's just a lot going on in college
For
where
sure.
it's not right. And if that type of stuff was going on in the NFL, coach is fired, within a year or two. Like
Yep.
it's not even, there's no slack. And so I saw that DK Metcalf wasn't being used right. His quarterback, not ideal, stuff like that. And so I agree with you from what Jonathan Taylor can catch. He just wasn't used a ton in the pass game. And then so why is this? Everyone in my fantasy circle, all the fantasy analysts I know and that I've seen, including you now, is I didn't look at, I don't know what you would say. Say Jonathan Taylor number one, but actually when I look at NFL analysts and look on the internet, maybe about over 6 out of 10. So about 7 out of 10 of those people prefer DeAndre Swift to Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, they do. They do because they're trying to chase, the that Alvin Kamara kind of type of player, I think. DeAndre Swift, I'm not going to say he's bad, but I don't think he's anywhere near Jonathan Taylor.
He looks like a poor man's Dalvin Cook to me, and I'm not that impressed with DeAndre Swift. I think he looks really good, but I do worry, like, does he have the top-end speed I love in the NFL? And, I just see Dalvin Cook, but not as good because Dalvin Cook looked so amazing this past year.
I honestly see Miles Sanders. I think he's very close to Miles Sanders. And, he's not very tall, but that helps him because he's not very, his weight's only 212. But so that makes his BMI a 32, which is good. It's just like right on par with what Jonathan Taylor is BMI wise. And that's really the one thing that you want to look at with running backs, because then you know that they can be powerful. They can handle that, 3-down workload. And I like DeAndre Swift a lot, but I feel like one of the things is him going to Georgia also helps out a lot. And he played with, Sony Michel and Nick Chubb and still had playing time. When you get 600 yards as a true freshman playing behind Sony Michel and Nick Chubb, I think that's what sparks it. You know what I mean?
So I have Fresh Baller in the chat says Swift has less usage and tread on his tires. I think that's a reason he's giving for him being ranked ahead of Jonathan Taylor as far as these NFL analysts.
Right. Yeah. And I honestly, I've seen that all over Twitter and whatnot, is that, he has less tread because Jonathan Taylor, if you look at his rush attempts, it was 299, 307, and then 320 his junior year, which is a lot. But I don't actually worry about tread on the tires if there hasn't been any significant injuries. And Jonathan Taylor has not had any significant injuries his whole time in college.
Got you. Okay.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna resume the draft. Just get your one pick in, and then we'll still talk about the top 3 or 4 picks. So let's resume. Let me see who you're gonna pick here.
So I don't know if you like that Henry Ruggs pick or not, but he's a baller.
Okay, let's so I picked Jerry Jeudy. The more I watch this guy, I'm just like, I'm going berserk. I hope my Niners get him at 13, but I don't know how he's gonna fall to 13. This dude is a beast.
Yeah, I think he does fall though, because if you look at the top of the draft, where honestly would he fall? Like, there's no way that Arizona Cardinals are going to take a wide receiver after getting that great DeAndre Hopkins deal, right?
Okay, I mean that's one team. I'm bringing up my old mock draft, so I think everything's pretty similar as it was 10 days ago. This is March 15th, except that number 13 pick. So yeah, we got the Bengals, Washington, Lions, Giants, Dolphins, and then we got Justin Herbert. Now this guy could go anywhere, right? Like he could go 5, 6, all the way, and it could fall tremendously.
Yeah.
Yep. Panthers I don't see them. Cardinals, I don't see them. Jags, I don't know.
I mean,
Still,
Jacksonville could, but they need so much.
someone could trade up though. It's just 13 is just a
Yeah.
steal. Let's keep it. So who's your number one wide receiver? And I assume it's the same person, but let me know in fantasy, in NFL, and in Dynasty, who's the number one rookie wide receiver for you?
Yeah. So for me, it's actually CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is just, I mean, you can go all the way back to when he was going to a school. I can't think of what it was for high school. And he had over 2,000 receiving yards in high school his senior year. And, and then when he came out in college, he was playing behind Marquise Brown and Andrews was still there. Mark Andrews was still there, and he finished as, the rookie in college at number 1. And then he was number 2 his sophomore year, just behind Jerry Jeudy, because they went into college the same year.
Okay. So
he was just absolutely, he's always been productive. His worst year was his, freshman year, and he had over 800 yards.
So you think that Judy's definitely solidified as 2 then, since
I think it's honestly going to be where do these guys land? The draft means so much for fantasy football. It really does. I know a lot of analysts out there think that they can go based off of just their own watching of tape or whatever. But for me, I go by the numbers a lot. But then my number one thing is, where did they go in the draft? And if CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy have a much better landing spot, then I'm going to go with one over the other.
Oh yeah, because, I got you. I mean, the draft hasn't even, we're doing this and the draft hasn't happened. So obviously that's a big thing, but I want to know who you like. And I know you're emphasizing that, we've always talked about that, whether on your podcast or you helped me out with that Dynasty video, like where they land, their draft capital obviously is a big thing. And then when they land is like, is this guy have an easy path to being a starter or a workhorse or a number one wide receiver? Like, no matter any first round wide receiver the Niners draft is an easy path to becoming a starter. There's not a lot of receivers now that Emmanuel Sanders is not on that team.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Honestly, I don't know. Debo, I like Debo a lot, so I don't know if somebody's going to overtake him. I think Jerry Jeudy can play with him, but I also think that Jerry Jeudy is best to be, a Calvin Ridley type of player. He's going to be better than Calvin Ridley, in my opinion. He's a better prospect for sure, but I think that's his game is he's going to be a better number 2 receiver than number 1. And I think CeeDee Lamb has he has the opportunity to be a number 1, but not his first year. Now, I don't think any of these guys are going to be, the number 1 on their teams their first year.
Well, I love Jeudy, by the way. I think he's the number 1 wide receiver. Every time I see him, I'm just like, wow, that's amazing. So
he's impressive.
I guess with CeeDee Lamb, you have to have some kind of imagination, because that's what people are saying. He's a little bit raw. He's gonna do some things his rookie year, but then like what he can be. I just think Judy's route running and even his yak looks amazing to me in the quick game.
Yeah,
I just think he's a beast. The only red flag I see with him was his 20-yard shuttle, which is like, I don't know. That's like a small, very, very small red flag, because he seems like the type of player on the film that his shuttle time would be amazing. He's really quick. And he's also like, I don't know, he's like a freestyler. Like, he has the athletic ability to run routes, but he also like, you just can't guard him. Like, he sets up dudes. It's like art, he's like an artist when he's running routes. He's like, how am I going to school this cornerback. Like it's
Yeah.
it's so amazing. Like to me, it's not even close. I don't know, but I mean, I definitely want your opinion. Um,
So if I'm making the case for Jerry Jeudy, say over CeeDee Lamb, I think the biggest case you can make is that if you watch his different seasons, one season he played as just, a field stretching monster, right? He was averaging over 19 yards a reception. And then the following season, his last season at Alabama, he showed that he can be a possession receiver also, because you see his yards per reception come down to 15.1. But like you were saying, his yak was still, very good. So I'm not hating on people having him number one. I just feel like as a full prospect, CeeDee Lamb just edges him out.
okay. So what
And he's a little small, 193 pounds is the one thing I'm not a huge fan of. I mean, how many that small guys are in the NFL that are great right now?
I don't know, but he's 6'1".
He's 6'1". Right. Yeah. So his BMI is low.
Yeah, that's true.
But he is fast. I mean, 4.45 is not slow. That's fast. And I like Jerry Jeudy, man. I won't argue with you.
So you got it like how people are saying it. 1A CeeDee Lamb, 1B Jerry Jeudy. Is that safe to say?
Exactly.
Okay, they're close. Now, with these top picks here, these top few picks. By the way, some people are like really into this mock. We're doing a mock just so it's more interactive, but this is really just an excuse to talk about the top rookies. And I felt like we were either going to do this mock draft right here or just look at rankings. And I prefer the mock draft because, like I said, it's more interactive. I see, the two of us are doing it and eight other people are in here, and it's kind of fun. And I just feel like, it's just a more creative way. But that's essentially what we're doing here right now. We're just doing a mock. And I wanted to hear Andrew's opinion and just the top rookies. I mean, on his podcast, they talk, about deep rookies and Dynasty. We'll do some of that later, but this is our first Dynasty content of the year, so we're really going to stick to the top ones. I had a couple questions, though. So first of all, do you ever play IDP?
No.
Okay, so I got a question. I got a question. You're gonna help me answer it because this guy's like, "Hey, I'm in a IDP Dynasty league," and he's like, "With the one," and he's like, "Where do you think I should get Chase Young?" He's like, "I got the 1.01 and the 1.09," and I told him basically 1.01 probably a little too early to get Chase Young, but I was like, "Don't let him go past 1.09." I was like, I consider him, he's probably the best edge rusher I've ever seen come out of college in recent memory, and I'm like, he deserves even higher than 9 overall. So do you kind of agree with that, or what are your thoughts about Chase Young?
Yeah, so I can give you my thoughts on Chase Young. I have not played an IDP league, so I don't know how the points are actually scored in that.
So IDPs, they really differ. They're really different from league to league, and so his league I'll just sum up as it does reward sacks a lot. So edge rushers do they call it a sack heavy league. So 6 points for a sack and 1 point for a QB knockdown.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, so I would have to agree with you because if I watch Chase Young, I watch a little bit of Ohio State football because my brother is a huge Ohio State fan. So he's always calling me when they're on and being like, you see this, and stuff. So I see a lot. And I honestly believe that he's better prospect-wise than even Nick Bosa. And you saw Nick Bosa this year just wreaking havoc. He's better than both of the Bosa brothers. I don't know if I've seen a more disruptive player ever at the college level.
Yeah, I really he's better than Watt. He's better than Aaron Donald coming out of college. Like he's better.
Yeah,
he's way better than Bosa. Even though I was like, we're picking Bosa. I was a Niners fan. Bosa's gonna be great, and then he's just freaking amazing in the NFL. But Chase Young is like all the knocks people say about Bosa. Chase Young doesn't have those knocks. You know, he's got the speed, he's got the bend, he's got the athleticism. He's just, you know, strength and speed. He's got the moves. He's got it all. It's a complete package.
Man. Yeah, that's pretty wild. I'll have to get into one of those leagues to be, you know, better understand the IDPs, because that would be kind of fun to see, you know, do I go with a wide receiver right here, or do I take a guy like Young?
Gotcha. Yeah, I know a little bit about IDPs. I haven't played one in a while, but if you were to do it, I would suggest Dynasty, because that's just the culture mesh. Like, people that play Dynasty tend to do more like freaky stuff, or more weird taboo fetishes. Like they throw in a linebacker or something, which just to me is just kind of dumb. Like, you go all IDP or no IDP. And so if you do a Dynasty, I highly recommend trying a IDP just for you, because it's like goes kind of hand in hand with Dynasty. It's a specialty league, and people love it. And yeah, you get to draft guys like, you know, Chase Young, who I'm sure is going to get overdrafted in some IDP leagues. We have another Jerry Jeudy truther here come to my defense. Royal says Hollywood Brown is 169 pounds, I believe. Yeah, I honestly thought that dude would turn to dust though. As soon as he got drafted, I was like, don't draft this guy and redraft. Like, he's gonna die. And he actually had a decent first year.
Yeah, it was up and down, right? I mean,
yeah, but you don't, you know, you don't expect much from, you know, like I saw some flashes like that were like he was talented, and he didn't suffer a major injury is what I'm trying to say, I guess.
Yeah, so the thing about like Hollywood Brown, and I like Hollywood. I'm not here to disparage the man, but he was averaging like 13 plays a game for the first half of the season because he just couldn't stay on the damn field. He just couldn't stay on. He was, you know, twisting an ankle here and there. And not to say that's what Jerry Jeudy's going to be like. I'm just saying, when I'm going into a draft, I don't take the approach of swing for the fences in a rookie draft, because if Jerry Jeudy comes out as a rookie and say, you know, he does what N'Keal Harry did, you see where you can get N'Keal Harry right now?
Yeah, that was sad.
He was going number 1 overall last year.
Yeah.
At least the 102.
I was really wrong about him. I was excited. I just thought, you know, okay, he's top 4, and then once the Patriots drafted him, I went berserk.
Yeah, so that's what one of the things I was going to ask you. I was looking at this this first round that we did, and I noticed that a wide receiver went in the 1-2 spot, and then again in the 1-4 spot. And then for some reason somebody took Joe Burrow at the 1-6 spot.
Yes, he's asking about him. He said, I've never done this. Was it too early to draft Burrow?
Yeah, so if it's a 1-quarterback league, in my opinion, how much do you like Andy Dalton?
No one likes him.
Okay, so
who likes Andy
Joe
Dalton?
Burrow is Joe Burrow, in my opinion, I'm gonna probably get, you know, some haters out there, but Joe Burrow, in my opinion, is this one of the scariest prospects at a quarterback position that I have ever seen. I mean, this guy took until being a true 4-year senior to have an okay season, and then a 5th-year senior to blow up into this megastar. I mean, he wasn't even able to beat out guys like Dwayne Haskins when he was in Ohio State. He couldn't even be the 3rd stringer there.
By the way, for our really quick for the audio listeners, we got 1.1. Andrew selected Jonathan Taylor. Then at 2, I've got the second pick in a linear rookie draft. I got Jerry Jeudy. Then it went DeAndre Swift and CeeDee Lamb. Then J.K. Dobbins, running back, and then Cooper, the brave one, at 6, drafted Joe Burrow. But Joe Burrow's ceiling is high.
Is it though?
Yeah.
How high is any quarterback on the Cincinnati Bengals?
Quarterback changes the franchise though. Quarterback really.
Yeah, sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't.
If you're wrong, I mean, Andrew Luck. I remember Andrew Luck just he revived Reggie Wayne's career for a year. He's just such a baller, and
Hmm.
I see sparks of Patrick Mahomes in Joe Burrow, and man, I
Oh,
think his ceiling is incredibly high.
yeah. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm the Joe Burrow hater over here or something, but it just scares me that it takes until being a fifth year senior to be really relevant. I mean, going into this year, Joe Burrow was talked about as a fifth or sixth round pick in the NFL draft.
Yeah,
He
no,
he
we
was
have
not
to talk about the negatives because he just
he
shined
you
one
know, he
year,
was
and it is scary. But he's going to the Bengals, right? I mean,
I mean, he's going to the Bengals. That's I
that's
mean, he's
already
going
set. Like it's
and AJ Green is still there. I saw that they franchise tagged him, and that could be good and that could be bad. We don't know if AJ Green can do anything anymore. I mean, he was supposed to come back every single week last year,
I
and he
I'll
never
tell
came
you
back.
exactly what's gonna happen. Well, to an extent, AJ Green's gonna look amazing. He's gonna look like he's a baller. And then this is week 3 preseason. Then I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe maybe he's done. Maybe his career ends there. Maybe he plays another 2 years. But I know he's gonna be I know he's gonna be looking good, and he's gonna come back strong. I just don't know week 1 regular season if that's if we're gonna carry into that. But the upside is very promising, and I'm in a 12-team dynasty league, and if you're not balling with the quarterback situation, even though you only start one QB, it's not super flex. There's really nothing on waivers. Like there's really nothing on free agency. Everyone's hoarding 2 or 3 quarterbacks. Like it's pretty tough, and I think if you got Joe, okay, let's say you're a little bit less weary of Joe Burrow than you. You think he's worth a
Yeah.
first round pick to swing for the fences and build a franchise on, or you're just like, no, not in a league where you only start one quarterback.
No, yeah, I wouldn't take him honestly. I really believe that best case scenario, he's a top 20, but more like the 15 to 20. And how much does that really help you? When you look at the quarterback position, you look at, from 10 to 20, there's not a huge gap. There's not a huge gap in the points per game. So it's not really worth it to me unless you're on the back end. If you're in, especially in a 10 team, I don't see I don't, I don't see the value in taking Burrow in the first round at all. And none
Okay,
of these quarterbacks, and it's
that's
not just Joe
that's a
Burrow.
little
I mean,
surprising because we're talking about strictly a rookie draft, and for someone that
yeah,
is looking forward to a quarterback or to or that's really looking to get Joe Burrow, you're still like, nah, try to do something else. Maybe
yeah, my
trade for a cheap Ryan Tannehill or something. Is that what you're saying? Because it's like in my league, it's
absolutely,
hard to find a good quarterback,
yeah,
but you can maybe get a
yeah.
crappy one. Like I'm not a Tannehill believer this year, by the way. I
I'm
don't think he's gonna be that good
I'm with you on that. I'm not a huge Tannehill believer, but I am a believer that Ryan Tannehill will finish above Joe Burrow.
this year.
And the thing is, yeah. And so the thing is for me is that you want to find the value, right? So Joe Burrow in his first year, we can't really expect him, being on the Bengals with, we saw their offense last year. It was absolutely horrible. It was absolutely horrible. And everyone wants to hate on Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton had multiple years of top 10 performances, right? Multiple years. So we saw what he could do in that offense last year, which is nothing. And I don't see Joe Burrow coming in there and changing it a whole lot. I mean, he might change it a little bit, but there's still going to be a bottom offense. So you want to find a guy, say, at that 1-6, who else was available? You could have got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Cam Akers. Cam Akers, I wish I could get him at the 1-6. Because then you'll be able to flip him. If you want Joe Burrow, just buy Joe Burrow the next year.
Why are all these like ESPN and all these major sites, why do they always go towards the wide receiver and they're in Dynasty and they're like, oh, wide receiver has longer years? Because the workhorse running back is still extremely scarce and valuable, just as much in redraft. Because like when I did my startup league in 2018, every ranking said draft Odell #1 overall. Like, I'm so thank God that I didn't do that and I went with Saquon, which was risky. I got a lot of flack for it. Like, people are like, you're dumb, but it ended up kind of working out. So if I wasn't gonna draft him, I would have probably took like Zeke or something in 2018. So what is up with that, and what are your thoughts on that?
I agree with that, honestly. So if I was doing my own mock, so I've wrote down my own mock before, and I'm taking running back in the first 5 slots. I'm not even taking, like, I was gonna ask you about Jerry Jeudy at the 1-2. I personally wouldn't do that. Because like I was talking before about what happened to N'Keal Harry. Look at a great example is the Chicago Bears running back right now.
Montgomery.
Who is he? What's
Montgomery.
his name? Yeah, Montgomery. So Montgomery did not have a great year, right? You were disappointed. Everyone was disappointed because they thought he was going to be the man. But his value in Dynasty and in redraft is still much higher than most wide receivers.
Yeah.
And most wide receivers don't do what A.J. Brown did their first year. Even if they're great wide receivers, they don't usually do that. So they hold their value much longer. So that's why, in my opinion, in a Dynasty startup or a Dynasty rookie draft, first few picks should be running back because they're scarce.
I got you. So if you were me at 1.2, you would go with Swift.
I would have went with Swift, yes.
Got you. He'll still catch passes. All right, I'm gonna resume
absolutely.
the draft. I got another question for you. You ready?
All right.
You about ready with your pick?
I am ready with my pick, yes.
You got 8 seconds, I think. Oh no, you got 30 seconds.
Okay. You got 8 seconds.
I don't even. Hey, it's better to say you got 8. I don't even know these guys anymore.
No, yeah, I went.
I'll just draft. So Joe Burrow versus Tua. So you're saying the earliest you draft Joe Burrow is 15 overall, let's say, and then how do you like Tua? Kind of where would you draft him and compare him to Joe Burrow? Because it's obviously Joe Burrow and Tua are the top 2 rookie QBs in no matter what you're looking at, real life, redraft, dynasty, right. Rookie dynasty.
Yeah, so I'm a big Tua fan. I love him. I do. I just wish the man could stay healthy. I'm also not wanting to, take him in the first round, but I would take him right above Joe Burrow. So maybe at that 2-1 spot.
I think you're starting to get a lot of haters. Like, what's wrong with this? You just are like Burrow. So I love this because you don't agree with everything I say, which is awesome, and I brought you on for a reason. And, I've just kind of really started digging into my rookies and dynasty. And I just did, started looking at mock drafts, like NFL mock drafts just a couple weeks ago. So you're saying, where would you draft Tua? So let's just say Burrow 15. If you were to draft Burrow at 15, where would you draft Tua?
Yeah, so I draft him 14. 14. Right above.
So it's really close, but you prefer Tua.
Yeah, very, very close. But I would take Tua over him in a dynasty for sure, because I think Tua is going to go to the Miami Dolphins, and I think the Miami Dolphins have done it right, and they are in an upward trajectory. You're going to see them in the next couple of years be an actual contender in that division.
Okay, make your pick here. My pick's not going to matter. I don't know what I'm doing. Well, I know a name. Let me see if this goes.
Oh, I didn't notice that we had 5 rounds. I thought it was only. Oh wow.
Oop, I paused
Yeah.
it for you.
Oh, you paused it.
I don't want you
There
looking
go.
silly, man. I don't.
No,
Because I know this matters
Yeah,
to you.
appreciate it.
This I don't.
But,
I just have this as a visual. It doesn't matter to me. What about this guy? I've heard of this guy's name, so I'm gonna draft a Keyshawn.
No,
Vaughn.
yeah, I like
That was a good pick.
Keyshawn
Huh?
Vaughn. Keyshawn Vaughn is great. I think he doesn't get much love for some reason. He is an older prospect, but he has that 3-down potential.
Got you. So,
He really does. He went to Vanderbilt, I think, and he had a productive year. He really did. His last two seasons were productive when he transferred into Vanderbilt.
Who's your number 3 running back, which, according to you, logically would be the number 3 overall in rookie?
Right. Yeah, so right now, for my number 3 overall and running back is Cam Akers.
Okay.
Cam Akers is a badass. I think, I don't know if you saw this tweet. I saw this tweet out there, and it said rush yards before first contact on first and second down designed runs in college football. And if you look at the list, you see Clemson at 1,579 yards, Wisconsin at 1,555 yards. But Florida State, where Cam Akers went, it was 2 yards. 2 yards before first contact. The dude had almost 1,200 yards rushing with a terrible offensive line. Just imagine if he went to Ohio State where J.K. Dobbins tore it up. I think he'd be pushing Swift out. I think it's possible that he'd be pushing Swift out. And he's good size. And he runs fast. I mean, a 4.47 40 is fast. What are your thoughts on Cam Akers? Do you like him? Do you not know about him?
Don't know about him as much as you, but I've seen the film and it just didn't excite me. I thought this draft class was supposed to be really great when it comes to running backs, and I'm just gonna be looking at where they go. Like, I like Jonathan Taylor. Like, he really stands out to me. I just hope he can be versatile and pass block. You know, the little things that I hope he can do those things. Other than that, I think he's amazing. I love his stature, his speed. He really pops to me. 1.1 for sure for me. Let me pause this for you.
Oh yeah. So Cam Akers, the other thing is he was actually a number 1 recruit out of high school too. I don't know why he went to Florida State. He could have had such a better career, but as a freshman, he had over 1,000 yards. He also shows that he can catch the ball. He had 30 receptions, 225 yards receiving. That's solid. I think he can be one of those 3-down backs. The biggest thing for Cam Akers is I think he needs to go in the first 3 rounds. If he goes round 4 plus, that's when you get a little bit nervous.
Got you. Yeah, because they're like, I'm probably not going to use him. Unless there's an injury.
Yeah.
Got you. And then these guys have some questions. I'm just going to go to them.
Yeah.
Cole, I don't even know how to say his last name. Komet. Cole
Komet, the tight end.
Yes, is that the number 1 rookie tight end? Or what's up with tight ends? We're just avoid them again. You've always told me that it's worked out so well, avoiding these rookie tight ends.
Yes. Rookie tight
like
ends.
I love Noah Fant this year as a high upside sleeper. He's on my sleepers list. But yeah, last year, I mean, it's like good luck because you 100% benched him all the few games he did well.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
And yeah, you wasted a draft pick. Like, it was just a headache. Like.
I would honestly say that this last year had some up and down tight end. This year, oh man, it's rough out there. I would not be taking any of the tight ends in the first round and a half at least. I don't even know if I'd take one in the second round. My favorite tight end actually is Adam Troutman. He's from a small school out of Dayton, Ohio. And if you guys watched the Senior Bowl, you would have seen him. And he did well in the Senior Bowl. He was getting a lot of talk out of the Senior Bowl. You watch him; he's good sized.
Sleeper doesn't have his
seems
image.
good,
6'5",
I mean-
255 pounds. Sleeper does not
Yeah.
have his image, folks. But this is your
You're-
number one. If you were to draft a tight end, I imagine he'll fall to round 4, round 5. This is the number one guy you would draft in a rookie draft.
Yes. Yep, that would be my number one. The best comparable I have seen on him is Dallas Goedert, because he was super, super productive in college. I mean, his last year he had over 900 yards and 14 touchdowns.
Well, this is a good question, I think. The Island asks, in a dynasty, Cortland Sutton or DJ Moore?
Oh, man. DJ Moore. Easy.
What about
DJ
the
Moore
quarterback?
for me is, yeah.
That's
I
it. I
am
think
not a
DJ
Teddy
Moore is
Bridgewater
better,
fan.
but it's like,
Yep.
I don't know. Well, Teddy Bridgewater is pretty good. Or he
I'm not
looked
a huge
great on the
Bridgewater
Saints though. He looked great on the Saints, but I always remember his last year healthy on the Vikings was
Yeah.
horrible. So it's like
He does not push the ball downfield very often. So that works in DJ Moore's favor because he plays that possession game.
Yeah.
He's a yak guy. And I don't know how much you want to trust Drew Lock over in Denver. I mean, he had, some flashes
He's
this
the
past year. He
upside
did.
guy. He's got some flashes like
I
you said.
love Cortland Sutton, but DJ Moore, I think, can be one of those top 5, top 3 wide receivers in the league.
Got you. And I'm a little bit of a Panthers hater. I'm not a fan of DJ Moore per
man.
se. I like Cortland Sutton's upside. I like Drew Lock. Even so, I'm gonna go with DJ Moore. I think he's clearly better.
Yeah, and when you look at Teddy Bridgewater last year when he was playing with the Saints, if I'm not mistaken, I think Michael Thomas only averaged like 2 point less with Teddy Bridgewater than when Drew Brees was in.
Yeah, well,
Take it for what you can.
Teddy Bridgewater was a check down Teddy, but then
Yeah.
he did let it loose a little bit after the first 2-3 games. And I mean they went 5-0 during that, so
They went 5-0.
he was pretty good.
I was not, impressed with what Teddy did. I was looking that up actually just a few days ago about Teddy Bridgewater because I was trying to evaluate where to put him in my rankings. And if he would have played, his average over 16 weeks, he would have landed between Derek Carr and Phillip Rivers.
Gross.
So it was not.
I
it
hate
was not
Phillip
something
Rivers.
to get excited about.
I hate him.
I was like, oh my
Not
gosh,
good.
he's just above Phillip Rivers. Like next, I don't want that.
So someone's asking about. Did you? Why can I hear myself? Did your headphones come out or something?
No.
I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
So Ruggs, who's your number 3 wide receiver? The 2 questions.
Okay, so my number 3 wide receiver is not Ruggs. It's Jalen Reagor. So Ruggs is my number 4. I'll start off with Jalen Reagor though. What I love about this kid. So I was disappointed after the combine and everything because the hype going into the combine was Jalen Reagor is gonna run fast and maybe as fast as Henry Ruggs. And we found out that was not the case. He was still, a 4.47 40, which is, that's good. It's respectable. His college dominator, 36%. It's good. What I loved about it is that he came in at 206 pounds, which is awesome. And when you're doing prospecting, my favorite thing to look for in wide receivers is It might sound weird, but how many rushing yards does he have? How many rushing attempts does he have? And every single year Jalen Reagor was in college, he had at least 8 rushing attempts, which is huge because you know that that team is trying to find any way to get the ball in his hands.
It makes sense. But then
Yeah.
number 4 right after him, you got Ruggs, who is fast. That dude is fast.
He's fast. Yeah, he is super fast. But Henry Ruggs is a man. He has such a wide range, and I think everyone has him ranked all over the place. I've seen him down at 15 before, and then up at, some guys have him number 1 or number 2. Ruggs is all over the place, and it's hard to, when you're doing data analysis on him, you're like, oh, do they use him because he's super fast like Tyreek Hill in college? And then you look, no, he didn't have rushing at all. He had 2 times his last season for 75 yards. They didn't use him any other year. You look at his production on kick returning, it was not anything really until his senior year. But that is, you can see that he is returning kicks and whatnot. You look at his production in the receiving game, his best year, he only had 746 yards.
So Ruggs is ideal. I'm working on a best ball video, and Ruggs is looking like he'll be ideal for best ball dynasty.
Because I think Ruggs is going to be up down like
best ball. They automatically start the best players, so you don't have to guess. Right. Those 4, 5, 6 games where he's going to ball out, because almost certainly there's going to be 7, 8, 9 games where he's not going to do anything. And so Ruggs is ideal for best ball dynasty, but he's your number 4.
He is my number 4. I think that he's my number 4 for a couple reasons. One is I think he's going to be a first or second round pick in the NFL draft. I really think he's going to go high, which, moves him up in fantasy. It just has to, because first and second round picks get a lot more opportunity, especially in their first year, than third and fourth round picks.
I also like my pick, T. Higgins. Would he be number 5, 6, or 7 for you? Do you like him?
I don't really like T. Higgins. No, I don't. I wouldn't say he sucks, but I did see his workout metrics at his pro day, and I cannot tell you what they were off the top of my head, but I remember him running like a 4.6 40, something like that. And there's not that many wide receivers that are good that have a 4.6 40. Like everyone wants to say, he's Allen Robinson. Okay, there's not that many Allen Robinsons.
Allen Robinson's a poor man's Mike Thomas, which is like an incredible compliment. So it says on his...
You're right.
He tweaked his hamstring or something. Wait. Wide receiver T. Higgins, who passed on running the 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine after tweaking a hamstring 2 or 3 weeks before the Combine, was clocked in 4.54 seconds at Clemson's pro day. So he's a tall receiver, right? Yeah. So do you have these Kelvin Benjamin-ish type of worries? Is he like a Devin Funchess?
Do you ever listen to JJ Zacharyson?
No, I know his like intro
or
though.
Follow him?
JJ Zachary, that little intro.
Yeah.
I don't listen to anything.
No, but like I was seeing him on Twitter, and he was talking about something that made me think. And T. Higgins fell right into this. He said something, I'm not quoting him, but something about do we really want the guy out there anymore that is a jump ball expert, which is T. Higgins? Because we're noticing that actually might be a red flag, because guys aren't bullies like Des Bryant anymore in the NFL. So we want guys that can separate, and we know that T. Higgins separation is terrible. Like, yes, he was productive in college, and I love that he is in my top 10 only because he broke out at age 18, which is one of the things that you look for is breakout age.
Is his separation really terrible? And this 4.54, could that maybe be a little bit...
So
he might be a little faster than that. I mean, didn't he tweaked his hamstring and?
Well, he tweaked his hamstring going into the combine, right? So his pro day was a couple of months after that, and pro day, clocks are not the same. So you normally would add 0.05 seconds, which would make that a 4.59.
Oh,
right?
Is that true on pro day? The hand time,
Yeah.
you usually add to it. You don't usually subtract.
Right.
I did not know this.
At the combine, the thing is that, not just they have lasers, because they have lasers at some pro days. It's the ability that they go back and look at the start times. The start actually fluctuates with it. So that's why most people add 0.05 to whatever pro day 40 is to get it, roughly more accurate.
Got you. I like this. Atomic Dog asks, am I the only one that likes Jalen Hurts? And I think the answer is yes for me. I don't like
No. I love Jalen Hurts. Man, I'm glad you brought him up. So I was going through, and I'm not joking with you. I was looking at this guy and I was like,
okay, first of all, just to be honest, I honestly just got him mixed up with Justin Herbert.
Oh, well,
but I don't like any. I don't like any quarterback past the top 2.
But
I don't trust any of these guys. Yeah,
second.
sure. Go ahead.
All right, so because I want to ask you, what is it that we don't like about Jalen Hurts? Because if you look at when he broke out, right, was at 18 as a true freshman, and he only lost one game at Alabama. And that was the championship game as a freshman. And then also his college QBR was an 89.7. That's the 95th percentile. His last year of college, when he transferred to Oklahoma, he put his yards per attempt up into the 98th percentile at 11.3. So we know he can throw the ball. He's big. He's 221 or 222 pounds. I mean, I don't understand what we don't like about him.
So who are the Patriots drafting him or what?
Runs a 4.59. He runs a 4.59. So we know that in fantasy, not just real life, but in fantasy, we want those mobile quarterbacks.
I'm bored with 2020. What about 2021 Trevor Lawrence?
Oh man,
Patriots, right? No, you know what? The Patriots,
yeah, right.
Patriots always make the moves that I can't predict, and it goes in line with all these crappy teams. Like, who else makes terrible GM moves? Like Bill O'Brien and Bears. The Bears make weird moves. Maybe sometimes the Jet, like they make weird moves, and it's funny as the Patriots are like exactly like that, but their moves have panned out a lot. And it's like, whatever we predict's not gonna happen. But man, I don't think the Patriots are gonna do much at quarterback. I really think they'll go for Trevor Lawrence, which means that I'll be wrong. But I really think he's that good, or he can be. He can be that good in 2021.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence is gonna be insane. Absolutely, dude's gonna be great in the NFL. I'm sure. The Patriots getting him though. I don't see it. I just I don't know how the Patriots would be able to lose every single game.
Oh, they're gonna suck this year.
Are they?
Yeah, I mean, dude,
No.
who? Okay, watch this. Julian Edelman, and come on, don't let the haters don't hide. All right, all the haters, they were in my face last year when I drafted him. So come back out. Come on, everyone does. He's probably not gonna play 16 games. Other than that,
Yeah.
who else do they have to catch the ball?
I mean, who did they have last year?
They had Tom Brady. People call him the GOAT.
Yeah, Tom Brady was there, but do we really believe that Tom Brady at age 43 was anything better than, I don't know, maybe they pick up Jameis Winston?
Come on, you know the Patriots won't do that. Bill Belichick would have to commit like 18 crimes, and he would get suspended, arrested. We'd see a Bill Belichick mugshot. He'd have to have lawyers. If he was coaching Winston, he would have a heart attack. I mean, it would just be insane. So I was like, nah, they're not going to get Cam Newton. So I don't see them getting a quarterback at least not at Winston or Cam Newton. Maybe they draft a project. Maybe, later. Because you know how they love those late round picks or later round picks. And they don't go for those, the number one guy at the position ever. And so, I could see them drafting a quarterback as long as it's not, like I don't see them making a splash like how the Chiefs did with Mahomes or how the Bears tried to Trubisky. Some kind of splash.
And we all knew, like, why didn't the Bears look at fantasy Twitter a little bit? Because we all knew before that draft that Mitchell Trubisky was going to be a bust. And this is what I was talking about with Joe Burrow. Same type of thing. Mitchell Trubisky had one good year.
That is a similar, but Burrow's year was way cooler.
Yeah, Burrow's year was way better.
I mean, it's not even the same. Yeah. I get the comparison, and I've been told Jamarcus Russell, right? Didn't he have one good year in college?
Yes.
That's what I didn't even look that up, but that's what this guy told me.
But it's not about having one good year. It's about having one good year as an old prospect. Because there's plenty of guys that are good in the league that only had, 1 year and done. I mean, look at Kyler Murray. The dude is a beast. And he only had 1 year in college because he was behind Baker Mayfield and he was a, college transfer and everything else. There are guys that have that 1 year, but it's if they come out as a junior. That the thing that's funny to me is that what do you think a guy like Lamar Jackson would do in college right now? Because Joe Burrow's older than him.
I don't understand. I mean, he'd be good. I don't understand the question.
Lamar
Jackson would be really good in college, of course.
Right. I'm saying that, like, when you've been in for so long, like, you should be expected to be that good because you were supposed to come out of college 2 years ago. That's what I'm saying. Most college quarterbacks that are great come out their junior year.
I don't know. I feel like, is this rule, like, are you really, you put a lot of weight in this rule? I just feel like it's, when you break all the college records, I feel like, it's a one by, single case. I'm not going to put this, everyone's different, Like, I just think his year was that great, though, because it's the best year ever. So, I don't know. I do see the red flags you're talking about, and I do see the floor being low and the Bengals draft. Like, I get all that, but I think the ceiling is really high, and just this dude's magical. And, I had my skepticism, too, until the very last game. Him versus Trevor Lawrence, and to me, I put a lot of weight in that game, and he showed up times 5. You know what I mean? And that was like, he really showed out, man. Like, it wasn't like, maybe he really proved it, and so I think his ceiling is really high. I got an easy question here. I think. What was this? Someone said, I can't find it now. Someone talked about. Oh, I memorized it. Curtis Samuel or N'Keal Harry in Dynasty.
Huh. Yeah. So, man, Curtis Samuel kind of got robbed.
Drop
over there,
him. Right? Drop him. This is
It's so
easy for
sad because
me.
I'm a Curtis Samuel fan. I really
I
am a
own
Curtis Samuel
John Brown
truther.
in Dynasty,
Like,
so I don't. I honestly don't think it's horrible. So I'm not John Brown. Robbie Anderson.
yeah,
Poor man's John Brown. So I own Robbie Anderson. I know. I don't think it's that big of a deal that he switched teams, but it is. It is a stock down for me. He does lose a little bit of value going to the Panthers, but he overcrowds that. Who's going to
yeah.
get targets in Carolina.
I looked at Curtis Samuel, he had so many missed air yards last year, which means like he was open and they just overthrew him or, missed through him. And if he would have connected on half of them, he could have been, a top 15 player. It was just atrocious. And what do? They bring in Teddy Bridgewater, which was already strike one for Curtis Samuel because Teddy doesn't push the ball downfield very often, right?
I know where this is headed. Yeah. I'm with you.
And then you bring in Robbie Anderson, which is this same kind of player. Robbie Anderson's not a possession receiver. He's a field stretcher. It's almost like they brought him in to, both of them stretch the field and give my man Christian McCaffrey a little more room. But
And
yeah,
DJ
I'm
Moore,
not
DJ Moore, C-Mac, those two are the ballers there.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not even big on Ian Thomas. Like, just because, who's the quarterback? How many touchdowns is that team going to score? And there's already two, DJ Moore's pretty good. C-Mac's, a super, super elite player. It's like, it's not the type of offense where it'd be like, yeah, I'm starting everybody, like how we used to with the Packers or other teams, like just throwing everybody.
It's not like that.
Yeah, it ain't that type of team. It ain't that type of offense.
No. And N'Keal Harry, who does he have ahead of him?
Nobody.
Mohamed
Where is it?
Sanu?
Julian Edelman.
Yeah, Julian Edelman and Mohamed Sanu are there. I mean, there's not that much. If they get a good quarterback, I could see him, going for like say 700-800 yards and a double-digit touchdowns. They need to use them like Gronk, honestly.
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing for him.
I've seen Denzel Mims flying up boards lately. Is he any good?
Yes. Man, Denzel Mims is. Let me pull up Denzel Mims real quick. Denzel Mims he's super fun. The only red flags that I see for him is he went to Baylor, and it's really hard to trust these Baylor wide receivers. I like Denzel Mims a lot, though. And when you type in all of his numbers, workout metrics, his college stats, his college dominator, which was in the 86th percentile, he had a 42.3%. That's crazy. It comes out as a comparable player of Chris Godwin, which is pretty amazing. You love to have that kind of comparison. He's, huge, 6'3", 207, and runs a 4.38. So that's fun. It's just like, for me, I don't like Baylor wide receivers, but I also don't like receivers that don't have that dynamic score. He didn't do anything in the rushing game. He didn't do anything in the punt or return game. I think he's dependent on where he goes in the draft. I like him a lot. I think he's a good, flyer. And I think he should go, in the top 15 picks.
So where he went is actually okay at 2.6 in our 10 team.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where I think he'll go.
We had a formal complaint about this being a 10 team, and I think they got it. Like, I'm just trying to keep it simple. Just an excuse to talk about the top 20 rookies. And plus, for the people that are watching, 10, you can see a lot better. The names are less smaller, so that's why I have it 10. As soon as we hit like round 3 or 4, I was already panicking. All right, I guess let's just finish this one. No, I actually, yes, but I don't remember him, and I've seen very little. So I don't really remember.
So a big thing I look for also at wide receivers. Oh yeah, I'll make my pick.
This is important to you, man. I know you. I don't want you looking bad. It's okay if I look bad. People love making fun of me. That's actually where a lot of my success comes from.
I don't. So do you know the guy I just picked, Lynn Bowden?
No, don't expect me to know anyone after round 3.
Yeah.
Not
So
yet.
Lynn. Oh my gosh, Lynn Bowden. If you look at him, this guy is just a football player. That's that's all I can say. Guy is a baller. He played quarterback, running back, and wide receiver in college. Like I had to look up his stats for you.
Okay, let's. So you revealed your number 3 running back, Cam Akers, and who would
Yeah.
be number 4, number 5 running back for you?
So my number 4 and 5 running back, I have J.K. Dobbins,
Number
and
4.
J.K. Dobbins for number 4. I think the top 2 through 4 are interchangeable, and they're gonna fluctuate up and down. We haven't seen J.K. Dobbins' workout metrics because his pro day got
But you
postponed. I don't know.
sounded so. You gave us a pretty good hype session about Cam Akers.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. Now you're kind of saying that J.K. Dobbins might be better, or
Right. Yeah. So I like Cam Akers a lot. And I was saying that, Cam Akers, if he played at Ohio State, he could be, just as good or more productive than J.K. Dobbins. But that's not to take away from J.K. Dobbins. I mean, you saw him play as a freshman. He had over 1,400 yards. He played good. And his last year at Ohio State, he was, killing people. 2,000 yards, 23 touchdowns. But I am not a fan of him being only 209 pounds. Like that doesn't make sense to me. He didn't run in the combine or do any of the drills because he said that he was injured, which means he's not really working out, which means he should have been more than 209 pounds because he wasn't able to cut weight, right?
I don't know about these guys.
Yeah.
You don't- he's just-
Yeah. So I think JK, if he goes to the right team, I know I keep coming back to that, but if he goes, because I've seen him in some places go top, round 1 in some mock drafts. And if he goes round 1, he has to be above Cam Akers. But even
I'm
no
just
matter
doing
where
the numbers right here. You have him as a first rounder, don't you, in a 12 team?
I
You have him
JK
you have him at 4 running back. Wait, you said
Yeah.
in the top 4 running backs. You said,
Yes. Yeah, he's my number 4 overall player.
but didn't you just say?
I'm saying first round of the
Oh, the
NFL draft.
NFL draft. I got
Yeah,
mixed
so
up. Okay, it was
if he
probably
goes-
clear. That was probably just me. Okay, I got
Yeah.
so mixed up.
Yeah,
I was
so
like,
if he
wait,
goes high
what?
in the NFL draft, you have to move him up. It's just what you
Yeah,
have
but
to do. Right?
okay, when I asked you, I'm saying pretend that Cam Akers and J.K. Dobbins got drafted in the same exact spot to the same exact team. You'd have to give Cam Akers. This is
Yeah,
don't be
Cam
like
Akers,
this is
right.
silly. We're doing a rookie draft before the draft even happened. This whole thing is
Yeah, that's
silly.
right.
We're giving the people what they want. It's quarantine time. We got 15
right.
people tuning in. They love it. They keep asking questions. So yes, they both get drafted by the Bucks, both in round
nice.
2, and they're clones of each other. We just didn't know this, and so you'd like Cam Akers more.
Yes.
How much more?
Yes, I would like Cam Akers a lot more, just because I think he has a more, not that J.K. Dobbins doesn't have a 3-down possibility. I think he does. I think he will be. But if I have to choose between them, Cam Akers is a better pass catcher. And he obviously is a better rusher. No, not obviously. Let me step that back. I think he's a better rusher because he had to create all his own yards. Whereas J.K. Dobbins didn't. Not, it's not J.K. Dobbins' fault, though, that his offensive line blocked for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like splitting hairs between the two. It really is.
I want to kind of just cover your top 12 overall. So whoever we kind of missed, I think we're just a couple more players.
Yeah.
So
So
go
we
ahead
did
and
J.K.
quickly talk about like your 8 through 12, just really quick.
Okay, so we talked about CD Lamb, which would be my number 5. Then Jerry Jeudy we talked about also. And then Clyde Edwards-Helaire is after that. Man, this prospect is... Have you looked at Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
No, not much.
He's a very difficult guy to, pin down, because last year at LSU, just like Joe Burrow.
Oh, this is LSU running back. He looks good to me, man. And does he have a lot of catches too?
Right, yeah.
Or that was during that year, though, huh?
It's during that year. You look at his last year, he had over 1,400 yards. He also had 17 touchdowns. But then the year prior to that, everything cuts in half. He only had 600 yards rushing and then 7 touchdowns. So
Which
it's
is
like
bad. That's bad.
That's
bad, and then it's very good.
Yeah. So it's hard to pin that down. And then also, he did not do so well at the combine with his 4.6 40. Don't really like too slow. The one thing that did stand out and why he's still in my top 5 is his burst. His burst is on top, and that is, I think, one of the biggest workout metrics that you need to follow when you're scouting these running backs. Is as long as they have burst, they might not have the long speed, but as long as they can burst through the hole, then I think they're good. And he did have 55 receptions his final year, so you can't take that away from him.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's incredible.
I mean, especially in college, you don't really see that.
Okay.
And the previous year he only had 11 targets, or 11 receptions, which Dave
says he's a bowling ball straight up. Does he have that good finishing quality too? After he gets contacted, finishes.
No,
hard.
he does. Because when you look at him, he's right on with that bowling ball type of analysis with him, because he's small. He's only 5'7", and he's as big as J.K. Dobbins in weight at 207 or 209. So his BMI is 89th percentile.
He's got a little bit of wiggle though.
Yeah, and he's he has a little bit of that Maurice Jones-Drew in him.
Okay.
If that gives you a picture.
MJD's great.
Another guy to look at a little bit similar is Chase Edmonds that plays for the Cardinals. He kind of reminds you a little bit of him.
Honestly, not a Chase Edmonds expert, even though I've.
Yeah, I mean, most people aren't.
I'm not. You probably scouted that dude from college. He's just on my radar. He's just a handcuff. That's the handcuff right there.
Yeah, you don't know too many players that come from Fordham, and neither do I.
So Clyde is what are we at, number 9 overall? Yeah. Was that or?
What is that? 7 overall. 8 overall is Eno Benjamin. Eno Benjamin's a fun prospect out of ASU. He's another running back. Also, kind of a smaller guy at 5'9", 207.
Why can't I find? 3.6. So you're high on him.
Who's that, Eno?
Yeah, he went 3.6 here.
Oh, 3.6 is, damn, that's pretty crazy. I would honestly think that he would be more of a end of first, beginning of second round.
Okay, so this is our value pick here. No, he's not ranked high on anyone's rankings, really. I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so. I've never seen him.
I guess it depends. Like when you're looking at this guy, he's very similar to a Duke Johnson type of player. So that's, some people love Duke Johnson, and, everyone's free Duke. And then there's other guys that just hate the Duke Johnson type of player. But Duke Johnson did have a couple years in Cleveland where he did, relatively well.
We play PPR. Everyone plays PPR.
Yeah. Right. So Duke is, but not bad. And that's the same with Eno. I'm going to move on though. So Zach Moss is my next prospect that I would say he's my number 9 overall.
Heard about him. Yeah.
A lot of people have Zach Moss way up there. And I thought Zach Moss was good. I don't watch a whole lot of tape. I do, watch it to, get a feel for the guys and everything. But it's after I do all my, data analysis collection and stuff and then watch. And the dude just is slow.
Oh, he's slow. Who's slow? Who else is slow? Jeremy Hill.
Who?
Jeremy Hill.
Yeah, Jeremy Hill is slow.
Bengals. 5 seconds with the Patriots.
What did Jeremy Hill really do? He had one good year and he was done. And that's Zach Moss. I mean, a 4.65, that's so slow.
Yeah, I look at the 4.5 as a good cutoff, and then anything above 4.6 is I don't know if that can hang on my roster. That's really slow for a 40 time. And you're saying the film doesn't show that he's way faster than that or anything.
No. Okay. No, it doesn't. And then also his yards per carry in college, I mean, it wasn't horrible, but 6.1 yards per carry. It's, 70th percentile, 73rd percentile, something like that. It's not what you want to look for in a slow running back, because you notice in that this guy's not going to be out of the backfield type of player. He's not going to be sprinting, David Johnson type. And if he has a low yards per carry, then what is he in the NFL? A LeGarrette Blount type? Now, how much do you want that?
Someone was asking about Gibson. I don't know if he's coming up soon.
Yeah, Antonio Gibson. Antonio Gibson.
And what number is he on your overall?
Yeah, give me a second. Let me see. Antonio Gibson.
I just thought he would be coming up soon too. That's why I brought him. And someone asked about him a while ago.
Yeah, I like Antonio Gibson. I don't have him, crazy high overall, but I do have him as my 10th overall running back.
Oh.
And, he's because he wasn't super productive. He just has that, that profile that you want. I mean, he's so fast. Let me pull him up real quick. Sorry about that. All right. Yeah. So this guy is big, 228 pounds, fast at a 4.39 40. I mean, it's crazy. But the thing is that he went to Memphis and they did not use him. Kind of like Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard wasn't used very well in Memphis either, but we saw him this year and he's good. So it makes you give, a little bit of hope that Antonio Gibson can be great because he has the profile that you want, but he does not have the production. I mean, he only has 1 year of production at all, and it was only 369 yards.
Okay, these guys in the chat are getting restless. They want to know if we can do another mock. And if that's cool with you, what we'll do is we'll end the podcast soon, and then we'll sign off the podcast, but then keep the live stream going and do another mock. And so just really quick, just round out the last 3 or so players of your top 12, just because I have OCD and I want to do that. Get the first round solidified. If you have those names in front of you. So the last name we left off was Zach Moss, and was that 9 overall? What was that?
Yeah, that was 9 overall. Then I have Henry Ruggs, which we talked about. Then Jalen Reagor. And then to top out the top 12 is Keyshawn Vaughn. And we talked about all those players.
Got you. So Henry Ruggs is your.
Henry
I
Ruggs is my number 10.
I thought he was
Over.
your number. Who's your number 3 wide receiver? I thought it was.
Jalen Rager is. Oh, sorry, I mixed them up. So Jalen Rager is at 10. Henry Ruggs is at 11.
I assume those two are close, and there's two different types
Yeah.
of receivers there. So
Right. Yep.
got you. Okay, we can do another mock. I linked
Do
your YouTube Dynasty Drafters YouTube channel. Or where's the best place to find you,
Yeah.
or your channel, or whatever you want to plug here?
Yeah, if you guys just want to follow me on Twitter at Dynasty Drafters, that's the best place to find me.
Okay, Twitter, Dynasty Drafters. Okay, I sent out a tweet. So that's Andrew and his gang's Twitter. It's still a group effort, right? It's not just you.
Yeah, so right now it's just myself, but
it is just
trying
you.
to pull people on. Yeah, because difficulties happen with the co-hosts and whatnot. Life happened, and
Yeah, that's
so
what
he's been off for a while.
I did a lot of music. I've been in the music game, and that was one thing I learned. When people are like, "What happened to that guy?" The answer is life. Life happens to 9 out of 10 people, and whether it doesn't matter, entertainment industry, or you're podcasting, or you're social media, or you're a rapper or music producer,
Right.
you just say life. So yeah, I didn't know it was a solo thing. So we got 100% of Dynasty Drafters with us on the show. We're gonna do
Right.
another mock draft. Thanks for coming on. We disagreed with most things, which I think made for a better podcast. But I really, you always with any prospect, don't you have to pros and cons, right? Or how could this be bad? How could this be good, right?
That's
you
right.
always got to look at, because every year we're surprised, whether it was Tom Brady being drafted late or I mean, I keep seeing Jerry Rice was like 16th overall or something. Like, it's just like, even though that's not late or anything, it's still like I'm sure he would have been drafted earlier if some people knew a little glimpse of what he would do. So yeah, man, really appreciate you having on. Go check out Dynasty Drafters on Twitter. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, the whole shebang. We're there. Stick around for you YouTubers. We're gonna do another mock draft if it fills up. We'll see what's up, but yeah, we'll do another one right now. All right, let me see. These guys just like mock drafting. That's all they care. They don't care about us. They're just like, hey, mock draft.
That's right.
They do like mock drafting with me though, and with the gang and with you guys and you. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's cool.
You got to give them what they want, I guess.
Yeah, man, you do well.
Oh, who won?
Real well.
Somebody said, who won this draft?
Oh.
Just give it to you. Team 1 is the best, I'd say. You had the first pick.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, team 1, yeah, because it would be team 1 to me.
Okay. Copy. What are we on? How do I send this to you? You wanted me to send it to you via Skype or email so you get in?
Yeah, email's the easiest.
Okay, that's good. Give me a second here. I'm going to email you the link and then we'll randomize it.
All right, cool.
And then you can, comment on the picks and whatnot. Okay.
Yeah, I've never actually done a live thing before.
Oh, live?
It's always been pre-recorded.
Yeah, it's like better energy, and then like at first,
Right.
no one's tuning in, so it's like it probably actually kind of sucks. It's a bad thing, but then once people tune in, it's cool because like you get live feedback, like, oh, your mic's not working or something, or not just that, but like like people are like, oh, what about this or that, and sometimes people are really insightful and they bring up certain things like, hey, you should try this rule, or like, no, that's way off, and you live questions. Like it's a cool experience. So I emailed you. I don't know if you got it yet.
Oh, I didn't even check. Let me see.
Yeah, check
Yeah, I
that.
got it.
Okay, join that.
Did we just claim one?
Yeah, just claim. I'm gonna do random. I don't
Okay.
even know if we'll fill up all 10. I don't know if I tweet it, maybe. So last time we did a quarantine mock draft live stream. It was 5.5 hours nearly, and
Oh, wow.
some people really loved it. Like they thanked me, and it even got donations. But a couple of people on Twitter got really mad at me, and it's just
Why?
like because they couldn't get in. I'm just gonna sum it up. Like they couldn't get in. And I even like was replying to one of the people on there, and it's just like but it goes to the big picture. Me telling you that. Hold on, let me tweet this. Another rookie mock. Let me tweet that. I think it'll fill up. Was just like how much it means to people,
Yeah.
Like if it didn't mean anything to anybody, nobody would
Yeah,
complain.
they wouldn't care.
Yeah, and then but the positiveness was way more overwhelming though. Like I said, it was only 2 people. One guy's like, "Oh, unfollowed," and then the other guy's like, "Yeah, he's just trying to get views." I was like, "Dude, I'm doing this for you guys. Like, I don't do a mock draft live. I'm doing it because it's like the
Right?
times are a little dark right now. There's a lot going on. Like, I'm doing it to entertain. Like,
Yeah, you're over in Cali, right?
yeah."
How bad is it over there? Is it rough?
I've been in quarantine for 11 years, so I don't know. I don't know, bro.
So you're not
Yeah,
sure.
I'm a germaphobe. I got OCD, so I've been living this life for a while. So, I mean, obviously, there's exaggeration, and then some people think, like, when I say that, like, I'm joking. It is like only like a little. I'm joking just a little bit, but no,
Right.
it's mostly factual. I'm mostly just stating what it is because I've started. We started doing fantasy videos in 2008. Started Fantasy Couch in 2009. And
Oh wow. So for a little while now.
yeah, and I've always, ever since my high school job, I've always been an entrepreneur. Web design, MySpace design. Facebook used to allow you to design your pages back in the day. Facebook page design. And then I went to film school, and then Fantasy Couch. Fantasy Couch was always
Okay.
part time, but I did a lot of music, so I did music professionally as well. As you can make money back in the
okay.
days off music. And so I've always been doing this. And when you do this, you sacrifice a lot of other things. So going out, making a lot of new friends, like all that stopped. I mean, I was, before DoorDash and all the Postmates and whatever Uber Eats. Before all that, like I discovered the first, like it was called a taxi, like a food taxi, and we'd use it all the time. So, and that company's probably done because they did what like Uber Eats and DoorDash and all those do, but it was a company that was in charge of doing it. So it was just one driver who was like really ugly. Like, oh, okay, I'll be there. Like, oh, the driver's out. Like, now you don't have to rely on anything.
Right. Yep.
So, I don't know what the heck we were talking about.
Yeah, man,
I totally forgot. Oh, you asked how is it in Cali? That's what.
Yeah, I was just seeing how it was over there in Cali. We're close, I live in Arizona, so it's right there. But we're not in total lockdown here. But then again, for me and my family, we pretty much lock in. I'm only working like 2 hours a day right now too.
Oh dang.
Yeah, it's crazy, but luckily I get paid for 8, so.
Oh, that's great, man. Yeah, I've been working from home, and it's just I got a new puppy, and
oh yeah, I keep seeing you post on it.
She's a exotic dog, and it's just been it's almost like having a real human child dang near, and glad I got it after the football season died down. Because man, she's crazy. She poops every 2 hours. She eats her own poop, and I'm a like people come to me for dog training tips, and so I think of myself as a pretty like I know what I'm doing. But I didn't. You put her in the cage and the kennel, and most dogs don't go when they're in the kennel, but she goes. all the
Wow.
time. She eats. She's a crazy. She's like
Have a kid.
she's like 100-pound dog that looks like a 10-pound dog. She's a bowling. Who's the bowling ball? Who's the LSU running back?
Yeah, Lair.
Or the slow one? Yeah, she's a bowling ball. Like it's such an exotic, crazy dog. Like it's hard to, like some people think she is like 70 pounds, but no, she's just.
So you have no kids?
No human kids. I got a couple dogs though.
No human kids. Yeah.
Yeah, well they're American bullies, so they're. Oh, somebody left. Okay, somebody got back in.
Yep.
Oh, they just switched. I don't know what happened. Whatever. Ew, a Panthers fan. Gross. Icky. Icky. I don't know. I don't like that. What are the franchises that you don't like?
I'm a Steeler hater.
They're good though.
Yeah.
I don't like Washington. Oh God.
Oh, I hate
I
Washington.
don't even say their team name.
I hate
just
my
call 'em
number
Washington.
one hate though is the Eagles. I hate them.
They're
Hate
cool.
the
I mean, they got a good coach. Carson Wentz is
I know.
okay. Defense is okay. Good in the trenches. You know, the O line and D line. I like them.
Yeah,
and they're building a great.
hate you.
Other than wide receivers, they're building a great team. You don't deny that they're cool though. Like they're good, or they're
Yeah,
doing
they're
so they're
good.
doing some
I just
things.
hate them.
Uh,
Where am I on here? Oh, that's nice.
you got 10. I got 8.
Yeah. I just like I saw when the Eagles, their fans are the worst.
Oh, that's you're just talking straight up about the city now.
Oh yeah,
But I'm not gonna deny anything. But that's just the city of Philadelphia, man.
I know.
'Cause,
I hate the city.
I'm a
of
big Bill
Philadelphia.
Burr fan. I don't know if you look at comedians or anything, but he did
Uh-huh.
he has a Bill Burr?
Yeah.
Look up. He has a famous thing in about Philadelphia. They did a show and it was just screwed from the beginning. And then he trolled them. He went off on them like for 45 minutes straight. And I'll go with Burrow. Yeah. And it's just fun. You got to listen to it. It's great because what happened was every comedian that came on, they just like cut their. They're getting stuff thrown at them and everyone was getting heckled and they just like cut it short and ran out of there. And then he just said, you know what? F you guys. And he just went in. He did the whole time, whatever it was, 45 minutes. It's your pick, right?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure. Because everyone
I
has
was
to
thinking.
remind me. Oh,
Yep,
it's Snake. Can I change it? Damn it.
I know that's what the guy said in his draft. That's why I said nope, never. Who cares?
Oops, wait, what? Can we change this? I feel so dumb now. I'm going to take a screenshot. I don't know. Hold on. I feel like people are going to hate me. Oh, I did it! I'm a hero. Everyone loves me. Everyone loves me. Everyone loves me.
Did you? Yeah, you did.
I did.
No.
I saved the day.
Oh, there it goes.
Sleeper,
Okay, my
baby. That's
computer was
sleeper.
slow.
It says, wait, why is it Snake? Don't worry. Don't worry. Oh, and no auto pick. And he picked Henry Ruggs, like a realistic pick right there.
Yeah, he did too.
D-Cast says, all I know is I don't like the Cowboys and Patriots, and that's all I need to know. I'm an Ohio State, Washington, and USC fan. Mom's side, dad's side from Washington. My dad is teaching at USC right now. All online classes, I assume. Couch name every cursed team in the NFL. This guy knows my top 3 curse. He already knows. It's number 1, Washington. Number 2, damn it, who's number 3? I don't know. Number 2 and 3 is kind of tied. Chargers and Lions. Those are the top 3. Chargers, Lions, and at the top is Washington.
Chargers and the Lions. Those are so random.
They're cursed. Hello, what are you talking about?
They're like all cursed. The Chargers, the Lions, and the Redskins are like the most hurt franchises
He
ever.
said name the top 3. He said name the most cursed franchise, and that's what I was
Oh
doing.
yeah,
Yeah,
those
yeah.
are it.
Lions, they
Yeah,
like never come on, Lions with the, and I mean it's like hard to dispute. The only thing you can really dispute with that, I think, is if you don't believe in curses, and then just replace that word with bad luck. I'm a guy who
yeah,
doesn't, luck is always part of every equation. But I don't
right.
more people put more weight into luck than
Yeah,
me
they do.
most of the time. So yeah, Chargers. I mean, what they just changed their logo, their quarterback situation. They've had great team, not good, great teams, great players. Never did anything ever.
Yeah,
They've always been
never.
short. Phillip Rivers, all he does is like
Yeah,
argue.
because of
It's
Philip Rivers too.
disgusting. Um, they changed the logo. They moved out of the city. People are burning their jerseys. It's horrible. They had something there in San
Yeah.
Diego. They don't even have any fans. And then, I mean, Washington. Do we even have to? Let's just say the owner and the team name. Let's just leave it at that. But then the Lions, pretty obvious. But Barry Sanders, right? They never win. And then you got Barry Sanders Part 2 with Megatron, and they don't pay the man the $2 million bonus or whatever.
Right.
Um, he's due or what? He's not like technically due, but I've heard that every player, especially in that situation, like every franchise would have paid him.
Oh,
And
I can't believe it.
yeah, they gypped him off the $2 million that they should have gave him. And it's like, yeah, dude's never gonna unretire now and play for you, you jerks.
That's right. They also I saw a thing. Did you watch that it was like a mini series documentary type of thing on Calvin Johnson that ESPN had?
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
Probably
he was
not.
talking about how they wouldn't allow him to use medicinal marijuana and whatnot to treat his body, and he knows his body way better than any of the NFL trainers, and he knew what he needed, and they wouldn't let him do it.
That's another topic because that was very, that was back then, and
Right.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of teams would have said no back then as
Oh, I
well.
mean, even now they'll say no most of the
But
time.
now, no, now they're changing a lot of things, like the new CBA. I don't know if it
Yeah.
was trending on Twitter. You're not gonna get any type of punishment. You might have to do like some, I don't know what they put, essentially like some kind of counseling or some
Yeah, community service
some
or
crap,
something.
whatever. They're like, but you don't, if you, as long as you do that, if as long as you're in this part, you don't have to serve any time or whatever the heck. You're not gonna get suspended. So no, things are changing a lot. So no, I get that. I mean, he would have been suspended. So
Yeah.
no, I get that part, but yeah, overall, just that franchise, and man, we really get screwed with Lions players when it comes to fantasy too. Like more times than not, like on Johnson and
I know what
sometimes
happened to him,
Stafford,
man.
even Reggie Bush. It's just like, man, it's just so. And the coach, I hear so many bad things about the coach. What's his name? They told me to dress up like him in Halloween. Matt
Oh, I
Patricia.
know. Patricia. Yeah, I
They're like,
heard all kinds
they're
of
like,
crazy
all
stuff
you
about.
got to do, brain, you just got to eat 222 corn dogs and then get a clipboard. Uh, don't comb the hair or the beard. Get a hat and then the little headset. Boom, little windbreaker. I could be Matt Patricia for Halloween. Um,
Matt Patricia. Oh my gosh, did you hear what he did to Darius Slay?
what did you do?
Like how Darius Slay went to Philadelphia and whatnot because he wasn't going to resign because he thinks Matt Patricia as a man is just a bastard because he called him out for different plays and whatnot during a meeting, and then I guess Darius Slay gave another corner some love, and he asked him when he was going to stop sucking that man's dick.
Oh, you're not supposed to say stuff like that.
Yeah,
Don't say stuff
he
like that
said
on my
that.
podcast. No,
Oh,
we'll
it's
take
on.
that off. Yeah, we're live.
Oh, I didn't know we were live.
It's okay. I'm gonna take that. It's not a big deal. And we already ended the audio. Just so you know, yeah, no F, no S, no
Yeah,
no
that
eggplant
was like
emoji.
wild, man. It was crazy.
He's a weird dude. He's like a uh I guess that never work the Belichick tree that really doesn't work. I think the Dolphins coach is good though, but
Oh yeah, the Dolphins coach is good.
it's really like it's been kind of disastrous. Other than that,
Wow.
Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, but Belichick, I don't see him as a guy that would give away his secrets even to his assistant
But they're
coaches.
with them though. You can't help.
Yeah,
You can't help. I mean, they're in
yeah,
the same room
you
with
can't help
you're.
a little bit of it,
Yeah, I
right?
mean, you're in the same room with them. 20% of the time, 30% of the time. I mean, you're not. You know what I mean? You don't really have that option. But that dude is a weirdo. Maybe he does like try to kind of hide
Yeah,
stuff and pull people. Like maybe what you're saying is right. He finds time to hide those secrets.
I feel like he does. Honestly, he just seems like a really different person. Like he cannot even be a in any state of happiness ever. You know what
Belichick?
I mean? Like when you see him win, he doesn't get excited. Yeah, Belichick.
I don't
Like
know.
he
That
doesn't
dude's a
even look like he
mystery.
won anything.
Dude, he gets happy
He's
when he wins a Super Bowl. Now, he does. He shows emotion when he wins a Super. Other than that, though, nah, he doesn't. But yeah, when they win a Super Bowl, he does. He gets
that's
happy.
about it.
That's it, though. You got to win
Yeah.
a Super Bowl. Like there's one goal, and then it's like
Yes.
that's what you celebrate.
So he's been happy 6 times of the last 40 years.
Yeah, he's a weirdo, but I mean, sometimes it takes that to be successful. And I was
It takes
just watching other people like Jerry Rice and I mean, sometimes like, cause I always wanted to be, I always want to be the best music producer, best YouTuber. And now it's like, now I don't know, man, because those
takes a
guys,
lot.
but it's bad. My brain sometimes isn't like my mentals aren't sometimes in the right place, and it's like I knew if I was striving that much and like selling my soul and just going all out, like I know I wouldn't be right in my head. So sometimes it's not the best. Like I'm very competitive. I think we all are as fantasy players. We
Yeah.
already have that competitiveness inside of us. But sometimes being number one, and everything's not always the best because it's all about happiness. So if you ain't really
Right.
happy
Yeah.
and
And you're
enjoying it,
sacrificing.
yeah, I mean, I've already sacrificed a good amount. It's like I don't know if I want to do more. And then when you do, when you do that, when you're number one, some not all the time, but sometimes a lot of people are gonna hate you. Sometimes you have to do bad stuff to get there. And so I don't know if I
That's
was
right.
so it made me kind of rethink like maybe it's cool just to be like really successful, really good and happy and don't be a loser, don't set like high goals, but
Yeah.
it's okay not to be number one. Number one's not always the best. And I wanted to put it like literally like you're number one on
Yeah.
something, but it's not necessarily the best thing.
That's right.
I don't want to
It's
look
not
like
it's not
Belichick.
number one. No.
I don't want to
No.
be that. I want to have
No.
some fun, damn it.
And it yeah, and especially when you have a family and stuff too, like you're taken away from it. You know what I mean? If you want to be the best, you're going to take away and your kids aren't going to know you.
Oh, I don't have
So
no
it
kids,
it
so.
takes a lot.
But
Well, you'll have kids maybe someday.
I don't know. I think I want to just have a farm and more dogs.
Yeah.
I just want a bunch of dogs. I love dogs. Like,
So you want a big yard, not a farm.
yeah, not necessarily a farm, but I mean like like at least like half an acre. Like an acre. Like essentially a farm.
Yeah. Well, no, an acre is not a farm. That's a tiny farm.
Okay. I want a tiny farm, but it's all full of dogs. All short,
It's a
all
bunch of dogs.
Maurice Jones-Drew dogs. All short, buff dogs. That's what I want.
Just a bunch of bulldogs.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. That's what American Bully is. It's like
Pitbull.
they're half bulldog, half pit bull, and pit bull's already part bulldog. So yeah, that's
Right.
what I love. Is just have a bunch of dogs. Thoughts on Jake Fromm? Last question.
Jake Fromm. Ah, man. I don't have much thoughts on Jake Fromm, to tell you the truth. I feel like he has a weak arm. I don't know if that's going to work out in the NFL. That's my biggest take on him. I think he's smart and whatnot. He kind of reminds you a little bit of who's that guy that they have right now in New England?
Stidham.
Yeah, Stidham.
Stidham.
Yeah, he's like a smart Stidham.
Smart Stidham.
Yeah,
They'll probably
not somebody I would want in fantasy.
Got you. All right. Well, any thoughts on this mock draft that we got going here?
Yeah, it looks like being at that one spot is looking really good, huh?
Look
at
good
this
again,
guy.
Yeah.
They're looking just amazing. Those top 3 picks, which are the ones that mean the most. I mean, you're getting 2 good running backs, like I talked about earlier, the Keyshawn Vaughn. He has a chance of being a 3-down back also. So that 1-1 it's looking good this year.
Yeah, you can easily, maybe it won't be as competitive, and then especially a lot of them, would do 12 teamers, but then that 1-1, and then especially if you have that 2-1, you're pretty much guaranteed 2 really good picks right there in the top 13.
And a guy that we're going to see a lot of going in the second round is that Tyler Johnson. Tyler Johnson is like an analytical hero, if you think about it. Dude was super productive, looks amazing, but I would caution against him because it looks like the NFL hates him. I mean, they show no love for Tyler Johnson. So depending on where he gets selected, but I think he could be a 5th-round pick, and you don't want a 5th-round pick in the second round of a rookie draft.
So you like him, but you're saying he might
I
not.
like him a lot.
He might not pan out in the NFL.
Him ranked. Yeah, because I don't think the NFL likes him.
One last question from me. So I have Devin Singletary in a Dynasty league, and I'm like, I was just a little bit perplexed. Like, I get why, but a little bit like disappointed and perplexed why he didn't ball out last year after LaShawn McCoy left. How's it looking this next year? Because I'm kind of frustrated, a little bit scared, but at the same time, I'm like, he should just ball out.
For Damian?
No, Devin Singletary. Bills running back.
Yeah, Devin Singletary. Oh, okay. I was never a Devin Singletary fan, to be honest. He's slow. He was semi-productive in college. He likes contact a lot. And he did well last year, honestly. I think he did really well for being a rookie in Buffalo. He has to also share carries with Josh Allen,
Well,
so
Frank Gore was there last year. Frank Gore's not there this year.
Right.
So that's
I think it's big. I think he's going to have another productive season, but it's one of those type of players that I don't like to have on Dynasty, and as soon as they have a good season, I sell them because he reminds you a lot of like Jordan Howard. You remember Jordan Howard there for a couple of years was a baller for fantasy football.
Is way better lateral movement.
Is he?
He's really good at lateral movement. He can go left and right.
I think they're very similar.
No.
Yeah, I think they're very similar.
Singletary plays way different. He can shake people. He's not the fastest north-south, but he's really good east-west. He can shake people really good. Wow, this guy's good. He's already surprised you. Let's say that for the snaps and carries he got on that team, he did well. So that's already strike one against you. So watch out.
Yeah,
Singletary, he's not whack.
But the thing is wait for him after his first contract. So once his first contract ends up being done, which 4 years.
You and your dynasties, you're talking about. So I'm just thinking about 2021. That's all I'm concerned with.
He's good for 2021. I like him.
You and your dynasties, you're like, look, I'm gonna take the championship in 2025. I'm like, dude, I don't know who's gonna be alive back then. I don't know. COVID-20. I mean, who knows what global warming. I got to concentrate on I can only look at 2021 Because and
Yeah.
my players are full of with young. Like I have youth on my team. Like that's I got Kittle, I got
Right.
Saquon, I got Mahomes. But I mean,
Oh, you're solid.
I gotta look at the near future. I can't be thinking 3 years, 3-4 years. Like I need him to
No, I'm
ball
saying
out
like if he
now.
balls out this year, it'll be the time to sell him. Sell him on the high, don't sell him on the low. That's the biggest thing for me, for Dynasty at least, is that you want to sell someone a year before they drop off
Got
because you
you.
want to get, that as much value from them as you can. It's just guessing when that's going to be. And for guys like Singletary, it comes quicker than for other guys. I mean, just think about a couple years ago. Did anyone think Todd Gurley would be in the position he is in now?
Well, I'm at the top of Todd Gurley's hate club. So yeah, I did. I thought he was. I thought he was gonna get traded like Brock Osweiler, and I was ready to make fun of it. So
Wow.
this is a more
Well, most
normal.
people weren't on that bandwagon.
Oh yeah, as soon as I knew like he's got like arthritis and this and that, yeah, I seen it. I seen it coming because I mean, he's a running back, and he's a kind of a
Right.
contact type of running back. So he's not like a Duke Johnson, and he's a type of guy who needs a lot of carries. I didn't know so much as this past year when he kind of sucked when he wasn't the workhorse, and then once he got warmed up, and they just kept feeding him, as a lot of running backs say, then he
Yeah.
started to be okay, and started to see glimpses of the old Todd Gurley. But yeah, man,
Yeah.
I actually, yeah, I see. I mean, he's the highest paid running back. All day I'm tweeting about the Rams. I go, Rams are like, what are they doing? I'm like, listen, what they did. They paid Goff. They made Donald the highest paid at his position. Then they made Gurley the highest paid at his position. And now they're screwed. Now they got to sell off
Yeah.
everybody. Sorry, I forgot the biggest one. Then they traded everything for Jalen Ramsey, and he's gotta pay. They're already basically they're so deep in this Jalen Ramsey debacle that they have to make him the highest paid corner. And so now they got to make
Yeah.
all these moves to support these 4 bad habits they got. And it's like, they
I
had to get
mean,
rid of Greg
Aaron
Zerline.
Donald's the only one that deserves it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Honestly.
They paid Todd Gurley so much. Yeah, and then he was really good though. Like there's no doubt,
He was
especially
awesome.
once he learned how to catch and he became an integral part of
Yeah.
Sean McVay's passing game. I was like, yeah, this dude he's legit.
He was amazing.
DCAS says this year for his value, I like him. I think he'll be a bigger threat in the
Yeah.
pass game than before, and I think he'll have a good season. Now, I think he's talking about Gurley. He could be talking about Singletary. Who
Yeah, and I
knows?
agree with that.
For
Honestly, I
what?
think
For
Todd
who?
Gurley is
Gurley.
going to
For
have a good
Gurley?
year.
He could. How do you know he's not talking about Singletary? This year first.
Oh, he might be talking about Singletary, but I would rather have Gurley.
I think. Look at this. I think he'll be a bigger threat in the pass game than before. That sounds like
Yeah, so he must be
Singletary.
talking about Singletary.
There's a little
But
lag. Yeah.
I
Or he
don't-
could be talking about
so-
Gurley because the Falcons pass a lot. I don't know.
Right. I don't want any running back to rely on passes from Josh Allen because Josh Allen picks up the ball and runs.
Okay, he's talking about
So I don't-
Gurley. He's talking about Gurley.
You know what I mean? I really don't see that because Josh Allen loves to run that damn ball. But he might be talking.
He's talking about Gurley. He
talking
said
about
Gurley. He just said.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah, Gurley. I mean, look at what Devonta Freeman did over there. He was a #1 overall running back once.
That's when they had a Niners coach. That's when they had Shanahan.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's different. But yeah, he'll be used. Well, all right, guys, we're gonna end it there. Links below in the description. Check out Dynasty Drafters, and they're on YouTube. They're on Twitter at Dynasty Drafters. Make sure you guys subscribe to both YouTube channels, Fantasy Couch and Fantasy Couch Podcast. Also subscribe to my boy Andrew's YouTube channel, Dynasty Drafters. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Dislike if you didn't. I'll catch you on the next one. We got a lot of good things coming. Thanks for hopping on, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you.